Hello, my dear students. This is Unit 2. Now we are going, this is part 5, and now we are going to answer the questions for the workbook, page number 4. Question number 1, complete the sentences. For sure, we use these words: detective, historical, review, and title. This is a historical story about the pharaohs in ancient Egypt. Number 2, a detective. A detective helps the police in their work. Number 3, the title of the book you are using is New Hello. Number 4, I want to see that film because the review in the newspaper says that it's very exciting. Question number 2, read and correct the mistakes in these sentences. Number 1, there are least English cars. There are least English cars than Korean cars in Egypt. Least should be fewer, because it's a comparative, so we used here fewer, and because cars is a countable noun. Number 2, 1.6 liters is the fewest amount of water that women should drink every day. Amount and water are uncountable, so this one is least amount of water. Number 3, there are very less people. People is countable, so this one should be few. There are very few people who live in the west of Egypt. Number 4, the tour guide said that 10 is the less number of the before less, this one to be least or fewest. Number 5, the hotel was noisy, so they had few sleep. Sleep is uncountable, so this one to be little sleep. Very little people have traveled to the deepest part of the sea. People is countable, so we use few people, very few people. Question number 3, answer the questions. Which weighs the least, air, water, or soil? We answer it. Air is the least of them. Number 2, what is the least time you have spent doing your homework? The answer, the least time I've spent doing my homework is 1 hour. Question number 3, do few tourists visit your area, or do many tourists visit it? Many tourists visited. Okay, page number 5, question number 1. Match the words and their meanings. It's kind of definitions. Number 1, adventure. Adventure is letter B, something unusual, exciting, and maybe dangerous. Number 2, character. Character, the answer is letter C, a person in a book, play, film, or something else. Weak. Weak, what is the meaning of weak? Weak is letter E, not strong. Summary. Summary, the definition of summary is letter A, text that gives the most important information about something. Terrible. Terrible, what is the meaning of tremble? Tremble, what is the meaning of tremble? The answer is letter D, shake a little when you are afraid, worried, or excited. Question number 2, rewrite the following using the words in brackets to give the same meaning. Here, number 1, not many equal few, so we just delete not many and add few people like historical novels. Number 2, he says here use little. I would like to read this detective story, but I don't have much. Not much mean little. So the answer, I'd like to read this detective story, but I have little time. Number 3, Rodina has more books in her bag than Malak. He says fewer, so fewer to be here, and we change the names. So Malak, the answer is Malak has fewer books in her bag than Rodina. I don't have as much interest in adventure stories as I do in mysteries. We use less. Okay, the answer, I have less interest in adventure stories than I do in mysteries. Question number 3, complete the dialogue. Excited, don't, feel, film, how, and make. Hazem, did you like the film? Munir, no, I didn't understand it. Hazem, did the film make you feel frightened? Did the film make you feel frightened? Munir, some of it did. It's also made me feel sad. Hazem, how did you feel when Ahmad returned from the desert? Munir, I didn't understand why was Taha so excited to see him. Munir, I didn't know that he was his brother. Hazem, how do you feel about the film now that you know this? Munir, I understand it now. I don't feel sad. I understand it now. I don't feel sad. Here, question number 4, write a paragraph about your favorite Egyptian writer. My favorite Egyptian writer is Naguib Mahfouz. We can say here, my favorite writer is Naguib Mahfouz. He was born in Cairo. He wrote many novels. The most famous one is El Harafish. It was made into a famous film. He won a Nobel Prize for literature. Many novels were translated into different languages, and we can say many other things about Naguib Mahfouz. He's a very famous Egyptian writer. Okay, page number 6, the last one in unit 2. Complete the sentences using the correct form of the words in brackets. Okay. Mazen's mother is a carer. Care is a verb and carer is the noun. Carer, she helps people who are very old. Number 2, there were eggs in it, so we were very careful, the adjective, careful with them. Number 3, Ahmad drove very carefully. Carefully is the adverb. It describes the verb here, so it's adverb. Question number 2, choose the correct words to complete the book review. You have heard of the writer Daniel Defoe. Don't or haven't you? One of my favorite novels or characters. This one is novels by Daniel Defoe is a book called Robinson Crusoe. It is about a boy who wanted to be a sailor. When he grows up, he travels to many countries and has many adventures. His boat sinks and he lives for many years on an island. I like the description of how he finds food and a place to live. Finally, Crusoe meets some other people and returns to England. Some of the story made me feel sad, but at the end I felt happy. It was a very enjoyable story, and the characters are wonderful. Okay, question number 3. Write a book review. Choose a book, write a short description, say which part of the story you like, say how the book makes you feel. Remember that in a review it's important to include your opinion. Okay, we will say it together. I have just read an exciting story. It's called South Family Robinson. It's about a whole family who was shipwrecked. They could reach the island safely. They used things on their boat. Also, they built a house and planted some crops. They kept some animals to live on the island. They lived happily.